Hi, my name is Adiviti Essuman. I've been married for 4 years. I got married on the 21st of September 2016, and I'm here to share my wedding planning experience. So beginning with the proposal, there was no ceremony, there was no flowery moment with the proposal. This was because my husband and I had one of those best friend relationships that just transitioned into a love story. So immediately he said, I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. We started planning a wedding. In fact, I think we had a very serious conversation where he said, are you ready to get married, be a mother, and take care of a home? I'm like, yeah, guy, what are you talking about? And after that, we just hit off and started planning a wedding. So it took us about 17 months approximately to plan our wedding, because right after that serious discussion, before we knew it, we were planning our wedding. So when it came to picking vendors, we looked at a few things. The first thing was budgets. The second thing was relationship. The third thing was our wedding theme. And the last thing was convenience. Now, when it came to budgets, obviously, your money will determine which vendor you can use or which vendor you'd get. So we looked at how much we were willing to spend on the wedding, and then we decided, okay, this we can afford, that we can't afford. With relationships, we had a few friends who were already in the industry doing some of these things. So for example, when it came to music, when it came to photography, we had friends who were there, so we just naturally went for those ones. When it came to wedding theme, I wanted somebody who had already done what I had visioned. Somebody who had already put it out there. So I went around looking on IG pages of vendors and looking for somebody who had used similar colors, similar decor themes, flower arrangements, and seating arrangements. Immediately I saw it, I said, yo, I'm going for this person. And for convenience now, for example, where we had our reception, we wanted somewhere that was closer to our church, because we had a lot of elderly folk who didn't want traveling a long distance just to come to our reception. So that influenced our choice of where we had our reception. And also for the reception place it fit into my theme of wanting an outdoor reception. So yeah, that was a perfect place. So for every wedding, there are also basic vendors that everybody uses. You need somebody to cater for your food, you need music, you need photography. Well, maybe you can do without photography, I don't know. You need a makeup artist, depending on what you want, basically. But we had all the basic vendors. There were a few we didn't have. We didn't use a wedding planner or an event planner. That was because I felt I was a capable planner myself, and I had a few hands on board who could help me. At the time, too, cocktail bars weren't a thing, so we also didn't have a cocktail bar. So those were the few things that we didn't have. We had a church wedding. The reason was that I am a very traditional person when it comes to wedding. I mean, I wanted my wedding to be in a church. I had the feeling that in the church I'm marrying in the presence of God. I needed to physically be at the altar. So I married in the church. Besides, my family is full of church elders and ministers and pastors. So there was no way that anyone was going to allow a garden wedding. So that's about it. Well, for me, this is funny. I'm sure for somebody else, they'll be so pissed, but I was determined to enjoy every bit of my wedding day. So this I found very funny. Now, the DJ who my husband and I had taken time, because we planned our own wedding, to make a selection written down, determine what songs to come after what. Long list written for this guy. This guy could not play a single song on the list we had taken our time to write for him. And I don't even know why this is a big deal, because some of these songs You can easily go online and find them. I mean, Westlife, for example. But this guy did not play a single track. Funniest of all was that, like I already said, my wedding was full of church elders and pastors and ministers. And they didn't understand why it's a pastor's daughter's wedding and there's no gospel being played. So some of them decided to take it upon themselves to go to the DJ and determine that guy played the song for me. And unfortunately, this DJ did not have any beautiful, trendy gospel music to play on the day. I can't even begin to describe the kind of songs the guy played. But it was so serious, it got my husband out from his seat to go to the DJ and like, guy, like, why are you playing the song? Change it. And you go and sit down, and another person will go back, guy, we need to hear some gospel. And the kind of gospel, see, heavy tree, I don't speak tree, I don't even understand. Heavy local, gospel music. But at the end of the day, I had fun with it. You may think it's a big deal, but hey, I enjoyed it. When it comes to awkward experience, now, I felt the pressure and anxiety that comes with planning a wedding. Now, I haven't done that before, and some of the amounts these vendors were mentioning were no joke. Serious amounts of money was going into this. So for some of them, this is something I haven't done before. I wanted the assurance that there was no need to worry and everything was going to be perfect like I imagined. So I randomly sent one of my vendors a text and said, please, I hope you don't disappoint me. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on me from my husband, my family, to make sure that this thing is top notch and the best, because there's a lot of money going here. And her response, my God, was so not the best. I mean, I was even taken aback. I thought for a vendor like that, you normally have brides who would have such a feeling. So your feedback or expression should be to rather calm them down and make them feel, okay. But no, I mean, I sent her the text and she called me, and where is this coming from? And what is all this you are saying? And what are you hearing from places? And why are you talking like this? I'm like, I've not heard anything. And in short, the tone with which she came with, I felt coward. And I felt very, a little intimidated, let me say. And for me, that was, I don't think that after that experience, I was able to really flow with her, although I used her to the end. I mean, we didn't really jive well because, hey, she wasn't as nice as I thought or imagined, yeah. The most memorable one for me was how my husband surprised me on the dance floor. This is because my husband cannot dance to save his life. The man cannot move. But on that day, I don't know what anointing or I don't know who laid hands on him. The magic on the dance floor was super amazing. And I think the whole time I couldn't even dance. I just kept flowing him. And he also kept going. And I mean, I found that so fun. I'll never forget that. I think I have two scary experiences. The first one was the fact that my dad almost ruined my wedding with the choice of wedding dress that I should go for the day. My dad and I are close. I don't make a lot of decisions without him. So I decided to go with this man to shop for my wedding dress. And the first dress I went into, which was a mermaid gown, because when I got there, that was what I said I wanted, a mermaid gown. And I remember the consultant telling me that normally brides come with a perception that this is going to look good, that is going to look good on them. But then she lets them try out different dresses, because sometimes you realize what you think would work for you isn't what is exactly what will work for you. So she just picked the first mermaid gown in my size and just put me in it. I came out for everybody to see, and my dad was like, yes, that's the one. We are done with this appointment. We are going with this one. This is it. No more trying on wedding gowns. I'm like, yo, guy, I don't even like this dress, you know. He was like, no, this is perfect, this is it. I mean, can we all go home now? And he wasn't even joking about it. I just had opened my mouth. I think I was very firm on the day. I tried a second dress, which was a ball gown. And even that made me realize that was a better fit for me than the mermaid gown. Even with that, when I came, I was like, no daughter is wearing this kind of dress to my wedding. I said, we want the first one. That's what we are going with. Thank God I can be firm. I think I almost cried. And I told him, no, I'm not trying on any more dresses. You can't determine which gown I should wear on the day. So I didn't let him. In fact, going home, the scare was serious, and I couldn't imagine what could have happened if I couldn't stand up to my dad. So yeah, it was really scary. The second scariest experience was the fact that the day before the wedding, there was a heavy downpour. And my reception was an outdoor reception, so that really scared us. But thank God that the next day the sun came out in all its glory and everything was just perfect. One thing I'll change if I could get the chance to do my wedding all over again is my hairstyle. I will change my hairstyle, yes. You may think that is really a minute detail, but for me it's a big deal because it wasn't what I envisioned. Just because it wasn't what I actually wanted is the reason why I'll do it all over again. So yeah, my hairstyle, I think is the only thing I'll change if I could do my wedding all over again. First thing for me, don't let any vendor boss you around or be the boss of decisions that are made simply because they are not doing you a favor. You are actually paying for the service. So be the boss of the decisions that ought to be made. No vendor is doing you a favor. Don't let any vendor talk to you anyhow, push you around. You can take advice, but be firm on what you want. And don't let anybody push you to choose something you do not choose, something that you actually do not want to choose, or to do something you don't want to do. The second lesson is when it comes to family members in our wedding planning events, sometimes they will win, sometimes you will win. In fact, I think most times they will win, sometimes you will win. So expect it and embrace it. It will happen. Expect it, embrace it. Third thing is, don't compromise on a high standard if you can afford it. If you can afford it, go all out for it. And the final thing is, if you're working on a budget, prioritize what you love. So for example, when I say what you love, you love the fact that you have to look nice in public, so your makeup, or the fact that you love pictures, and pictures are something that you always want to have because you always want to go back and revisit all the beautiful memories that you had. If that is it, prioritize and invest or push the chunks of your money into these areas. So you may not have a lot of money, but you spend a lot on makeup just because for you that's up there on the ladder, or for you photography is up there on the ladder. For marriage advice, the final thing, I have just one. Marry your best friend. Yes, it's not a cliche. Marry your best friend. If not, marry your friend at least. Or if not, build friendship in your marriage. Build friendship in your marriage. Because it's true when they say that all the lovey-dovey feelings and butterflies in your stomach and being on cloud 9 in love will fade away. It will fade away. I believe that at the end of the day, it is friendship that will keep the marriage fun. So that's basically it for me. Passion is a sprinter, and friendship is a marathon runner. So if you want your marriage to go that long distance, make sure your partner is your friend. Thank you very much for having me. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.